About 5 years ago at the Sanctuary Cove Boat Show, I saw a rigid inflatable boat sitting up on the land on 3 wheels. And I thought, boy, that's interesting. Well, we're going to show you what the Sealegs has to offer as far as utility in a boat is concerned. And I promise you that there is no other boat in the world that offers what the Sealegs offers you. Tom Carlisle is the sales manager of Sirocco Marine North, which is located at Coomera, right opposite the Gold Coast City Marina. Tom's with me, and he's going to tell us about the Sealegs.
Well, thanks, Chris. The Sealegs is an amphibious vehicle that we import in from New Zealand. It's obviously a multi-role, multi-purpose vehicle. The benefits and the pros to the boat is obviously its amphibious characteristics, but it's also a really good on-water performer. It has multiple roles that we can do with it, obviously search and rescue, but there's also a lot of domestic roles that these boats can play. This particular boat is one of our domestic vessels, designed for the general day-to-day market, and the wheels obviously can fold down. We can drive it up onto beaches, boat ramps and so forth.
Now, you mentioned that it's suitable for putting into survey, so it will accept survey.
Yes, it will.
So it can be used for commercial purposes, but also, quite remarkably, it can also be road registered, can't it?
Yeah, you can. You can get a restricted registration for them, so you can drive them on the road, which means that if you live within a short distance of the water, you can actually drive it straight out of your driveway down to the boat ramp, or in this case the beach, and launch anywhere you like.
So you're not reliant on boat ramps or anything like that?
No. One of the beautiful things about this particular vessel is if the circumstances are right, you don't actually need a towing car, you don't need a trailer, and also you don't have any of the hassles of launching and retrieving. One of the beautiful things too is that we can drive it up the beach like we have today. We can unload our camping gear, our barbecues, whatever you want, and camp, party, picnic right next to your vessel without having to worry about things like tidal movements, boat washes or sea conditions.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, how many people will it carry?
Well, this is our 6.1 metre version. The 6.1 metre is good for 6 people. That's 6 adults. It's a lot of equipment too you can put on these. They carry a lot of weight very well. The hydraulics are designed to lift maximum capacity of load up off the ground, even on sand or uneven terrain, and down into the water where the wheels pick back up again and away you go.
Tom, how do the hydraulics work?
Well, basically on this boat we've got a 24 horsepower Honda V-twin. It's an air-cooled motor, similar to you find on a motorbike. It runs a large hydraulic pump. The hydraulic pump makes the rams go up and down, wheels up and down, and runs the hydraulic motors. This has got a 2-wheel drive. We do a 3-wheel drive with diff lockers for extreme terrain.
Right. And what about steering? I found steering very interesting.
Well, the steering is a similar principle to you'd use on a catamaran. It's got twin hydraulic rams. Rather than running 2 onto 2 outboards, we simply run 1 on the outboard and run 1 on the front wheel.
Is that right? So that's real. So it's hydraulic steering virtually as you would find in a well-equipped boat.
Exactly the same as you'd find on any other large boat that's running hydraulic steering.
Now, what about current uses of the boats? I mean, obviously they're distributed pretty well around the world, aren't they?
They are. We have them all over the place, from North America to South America to Asia. The Malaysian military use them as a tactical response vessel. We also have them at airports such as Hong Kong, where they're used as fire response vessels.
Right. And what about in Australia?
Look, in Australia we've got them as sort of the eco-tourism and adventure tourism. We actually had this particular boat deployed in the Brisbane floods quite recently because it simply allowed the SES and emergency people to access areas a lot faster and safer than their traditional boats.
And obviously, as you said, it's capable of accessing areas that are totally inaccessible to any other type of vehicle.
Well, that's right. You know, traditional style rescue and flood boats obviously get stuck if they get to a fjord of land, can't get over it, so this just drops its wheels, drives over the top and enters the water again.
Absolutely remarkable. And just getting back to private use, you were saying that it's got a stereo, it's got cold storage, it's got all of the appointments that you would find on a 6-metre boat of conventional build, but because you can get it up on the beach, you can use it as sort of a base for your picnic and all that.
Absolutely. Look, I've found places like Fraser Island are just perfect for this, because you can come in off the surf beach, drop the wheels, drive up into the sand dunes, park and camp next to your boat.
Now, what about launching in the surf?
Launching in the surf is a dream. You leave the wheels all the way down and you just punch out through it like you would in any boat going through a bar, but obviously being a rib, it does it a lot safer and quicker than most vessels can.
And running along, I noticed that it's extremely dry. We really didn't get any water aboard apart from what fell on us out of the sky.
From the heavens, yeah. Well, that's mainly due to the fact it runs a very deep inverted chime on each side, and that complements the 21-degree dead rise deep V hull.
And what about the construction of the hull?
The hull is on this particular model is 4mm plate aluminium. It runs a cross diagonal frame all the way through the whole boat, which obviously gives it the strength and the chassis it needs to carry that load.
Well, Tom, it's a remarkable piece of gear. I must admit to a degree of scepticism when I first saw it. I thought, well, you know, if you were yabbying, it'd be wonderful to be able to drive up on the mud bank. But thinking more deeply about it, it really is a remarkably usable vessel.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a boat that really thinks outside the square, and every part of this boat makes boating easier, more enjoyable and safer.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Tom. Don't go away. We'll be back right after the break.